What's the
ゴンちゃん
other
マークマー
one? Yeah, Tai Chan. Too many names.
クベッコエリザベ
You can actually have like Liz, Lizzie, Lily, Betty. They're also okay for Elizabeth. Yeah.
Okay. Is your name common in Scotland?
It's not common, but not that uncommon either. Maybe
okay.
one boy in each grade at my school was called Jonathan.
Alright, well, there are so many Yukas in Japan. It's a pretty common name for women around my age. I never met any small girls called Yuka though, which makes me feel kind of old.
I understand. I've met many small girls called Aoi or Sae, but very few adults with those names.
Popular names are always changing, aren't they? Does the same things happen in the UK?
Yeah, when I was younger, Jack sounded like an old man or farmer.
Right.
But after Titanic, people started calling babies that.
Okay.
The same with Harry Potter. Now there's like old men and young boys called Harry.
Harry.
For girls, like glamorous names like Britney or Beyonce became popular for a little time. But
Well, in Japan, there's a popular name ranking announced every year. There used to be a lot of something ko, like Yukiko, Sachiko, Mikiko, and so on. These are not that popular anymore. Like names like Rin, Hina, Mei, Riko are more trendy these days. By the way, have you heard of kira names in Japanese?
no, I don't think so.
No.
What are they?
Oh, well, it's like it's kind of bizarre names.
Oh, bizarre. In what way?
Well, there are names which are difficult to pronounce, and also their kanji is kind of tough to read. There are so many ateji where kanji are used as phonetic symbols rather than for their meanings.
Yeah, it's interesting for me that Japanese people have kanji, but often they have to write their names in hiragana or katakana so others can read them.
Right. Well, do you have bizarre names in the UK?
I don't know if I'd say bizarre, but in the past it was common for a father and son to have exactly the same name. For example, David Smith Sr. and David Smith Jr. Just exactly the same name, how you said it was the same.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
By the way, are there any Japanese names which are difficult for you to pronounce?
Yes, lots. For example, when Nakamura Shunsuke was in Scotland, Scottish people called him Shunsuki.
Shunsuki. Karaoke.
Yeah.
Shunsuki.
Yeah. And also for Meshino Ryotaro, people say Ryotaro.
Ryotaro.
The Ryo is difficult to say.
Okay.
Names with long vowels are tough too, like Yuka, Kotaro, Ryota, Ryuya.
Yeah, we have to stretch some sounds.
For English teachers in Japan, the names now and you are most difficult because they sound the same as common command words. So, for example, you sit down now.
Now.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I also had a class once with 4 students. There's Haruhi, Haruki, Haruka, Hakuto. It was so difficult to say. Yes,
Wow.
it's so difficult to say their names quickly.
I'll be confused too. One of the hardest things for me when I studied in high school in New Zealand was to remember classmates' names. They call each other by their nicknames, and that made me even more confused.
Yeah, it happens to me in Japanese too when I get introduced to a group of people. Oh, this is Gon-chan, Makun. What's your real
Gon-chan.
name? I'm sure I had something, definitely something similar name is Makun and names like Masaki.
Mike for Mike,
Yeah.
and Tom for Thomas, and Rob for Robert.
Abby for Abigail, yeah. Abbey Road.
Yeah. It's like a beautiful church.
Right. Chris for Christine, Chris for Christopher. I suppose.
Yeah, Christine's an older lady's name and Christopher a boy's name.
Oh, okay. And Beth for Elizabeth.
Yeah, you can actually have like Liz, Lizzie, Lily, Betty. They're also okay for Elizabeth. Yeah.
Okay. Johnny for Jonathan.
In Japan, the meaning of nickname seems to be different from Western countries. Like, some people just write their first name or their name with like Chan or Kun at the end.
Right.
I know Kun is usually for boys and Chan is for girls. Is it possible to use Chan for boys too?
Chan can be used for boys too. If you are really close to someone or have been friends with them since you were kids, it's okay to say Chan. Some wives also use Chan after their husband's name.
Oh, thanks for explaining that. Actually, I've lived in Japan for a while, but I'm still not 100% sure when I should use Chan or Kun.
Right.
I usually use San as it's safer.
That's safe. Can I ask you one more question?
Yeah, okay.
What Japanese girls' names do you think are cute?
I like names with a me in it. For
Me,
example, like Kasumi, or Mayumi, Miyuki, Misaki, Mitsuki. How about you? Are there any English men's names that sound handsome to you?
I like William, Luke.
Lucas is usually a family name. Recently it became popular as a first name.
Okay.
George Lucas, Star Wars.
あ、そっか。Freddie and Edward, Josh.
Not Johnny.
Have you heard Shiwa Shiwa names?
Shiva
Yeah,
names. No.
Shiwa Shiwa means wrinkles, so it means old.
Oh.
So like my second son, like his name is very old name, so we call it Shiwa Shiwa.
Most of the names you said sounded handsome are very old. Like, you know, royal family, like Elizabeth, Charles, Philip, William, Harry. They all have like old man's name or old person's name in the image.